Welcome back to the channel. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't. It will really help my channel to grow. Thank you to the existing subscribers and for the comments I'm receiving on some of my videos. So today I'll be looking at the Razer Kishi controller. Okay, it says universal gaming controller, but it's actually only really made for the iPhone. Now they do have an Android version of this on Amazon, which is cheaper, which I was annoyed about. And it's got a USB-C connection and it'll perform exactly the same as this version. So if you're thinking of getting the Android version, I mean, these should be pretty much identical. Now, Apple sells this for £99.99. It's the only controller of this kind. They do have another standalone one. But in terms of something like this, where you can connect your phone, it is actually the only one that they sell, which tells me straight away that should work with the iPhone no problem. And it does go up to the iPhone Pro Max. However, I did notice Amazon had this for $79.99, so I ended up opting for that reason. And my initial reason for getting this was to play PS5 Remote Play, which I can show later on, hopefully, as my TV is almost being used by other people. And upon researching this, I did find another handheld called the Backbone 1. And reviews seemed a bit more favourable for that, but upon checking it further, it seemed to be a bit more expensive, and it was more integrated with Xbox features, which I wouldn't be using. But I would be quite interested in checking that one out. I'm not sure they sell it in this country properly. I did see a pound price on their website, but I think it comes from the US. So onto the product itself. I did panic for a second when I looked at it and I saw this size, but then I realized it opens and closes. So I'm just going to show you how that looks like on the back. So you just pull that apart and this little clip should come out. Ooh. And it feels delicate, but it's actually quite strong. Now this is a strong bit of rubber that they've got here, and the idea is it can stretch. So I've got the XS Max, so anyone who had the iPhone 12 Pro Max would need to stretch it a little bit. Now I wouldn't go testing this just to see how far it can pull, because you will rip it, obviously. So I'm not going to really test it that much, but it does. Once it fits in, it's quite snug. And I'm going to just connect it up. So I will have to switch cameras for that. So guys, I've actually switched to my iPad Pro 11 2020 camera. I don't think it's as good as the current camera I'm using, which is the iPhone XS Max. It seems to do 4K, so that's good enough. So I'm just going to show it connected. I've connected to Remote Play already because it is a bit fiddly at the moment. So let me just plug this end in so this slots nicely. Now I've got to be careful not to press the standby button, because if I do, I have to connect to Remote Play again. And then I stretch this slowly. I kind of take a deep breath, but it seems very secure. Now it's in. So yeah, I mean, anyone who has a Nintendo Switch will immediately feel at home, and in fact it feels lighter than a Nintendo Switch and much more comfortable. So the one thing I want to note, which immediately I want to do, so I'm just going to put this Spider-Man music down, there's no headphone socket. This really irked me, but I still decided to get it because mostly I'm not going to be playing for long periods, and I don't know if you can hear, it sounds okay. I mean, it sounds way better than the speakers on this are way better than the Nintendo Switch. But I should obviously clarify, the speakers coming out for this are from the XS Max, and they've got two speaker ports here, just to give the sort of impression of stereo sound, I guess. It's got a lightning port here for pass-through. This will not work for headphones if you try. The Bluetooth headphones I ended up using these ones, Soundpeats. I've had a few issues with others, particularly with latency, but I can do a review separately on these because these actually have a gaming mode. But anyway, let's go back and just show you. Yep. Sorry if the angle's a bit weird. Continue, but even as I'm pressing it, it feels really, really nice. Okay, so I've got it there. Wow, it's really hard stretching. I'm glad I got long arms. And yeah, as I'm playing it, let me see if I can put the volume up a bit as well. I don't know how good it's going to sound.
Because I'm going to say something you thought you'd never hear. Spider-Man got it right. Does that mean I was wrong about him? Am I apologizing? Hell no. You see, I have it on good authority that he is a regular listener of this program. And now it makes a lot
I mean, it's fantastic, really.
And he learned, improved himself. Against all odds, he did the right thing. So Spider-Man, you're welcome. However, don't think I'm going to go easy.
Yeah, I
on
mean,
Spider-Man from here
let
on
me
out.
just put Jameson down. But yeah, in terms of the controls, it feels fantastic. It almost feels like I'm playing a handheld console. I mean, the buttons there, I'd say they're comparable to Nintendo Switch, really. I'm not a big fan of the trigger as such. I don't know. I mean, the triggers, I actually think they're better than Nintendo Switches almost. Nintendo Switch just has a click on it, whereas these ones can I can adjust them and slightly press it. So I don't know if you're playing FIFA or something, that might be good for that. The clicky's very good. It's quite well built actually. The quality's brilliant on it. Holding it's quite comfortable. I have played it for extended periods and it does seem very good. There's no vibration. So anyone who's played Spider-Man will know when you hold down X for him to jump, oh sorry, not X, I think it's R2 and X, he charges it up and the controller vibrates, and this is a little bit strange not to feel this, but it's still not too bad. I mean, PS5 Remote Play works a heck of a lot better than PS4's version did. I mean, it almost feels like I've got the game here. Obviously, your internet connection needs to be decent and stable. In terms of the headphones, it was a little bit annoying that I couldn't have a direct connection. So I did the Bluetooth ones, and when you play for a while, the lag doesn't actually bother me. But my ones, the Soundpeats, did actually have a gaming mode, so I will be showing that in a different video. But yeah, I was quite impressed with the, let's just pause it there. Quite impressed, they've got all the buttons here and they seem to work with PlayStation. The only thing I couldn't figure out was the middle button, which is there, which I think in Spider-Man brings up the map, does it? Yeah, it brings up the map. I couldn't find that button, but to be honest, if you've got the touch facility, that should be adequate enough. And let us know what you think in the comments below, if this is your sort of thing, or if you've got something else. I think there's another one called GameSir as well, which people tend to go for. I went for this purely because Apple Store had it, which means it's recommended by them. And it works quite fantastically as well, and it's even got the good carry case. Well, I say carry case, the box is actually quite sturdy enough to carry the thing in. I haven't had a chance to take it out of the house. I don't really want to. With remote play, it's a bit dodgy from what I hear outside, so this is actually running on a home network. A few other games I haven't tried it for on the Apple Arcade, like Samurai Jack, that's quite a good one. Yeah, there's a few others I just haven't tried it for. I'd be more interested in this. But to be honest, when I played, some of my PS4, PS5 games, I don't really know if I want to play my Switch anymore. My Switch has just been sitting there really after this. And I kind of think streaming play is the way to go. They're not there yet completely, purely because you don't get all the detail. There are stuttering issues. For example, earlier this morning, someone was streaming something and it had a little bit of an impact. But even now, actually saying that, someone is streaming something in HD on my TV, and this is playing quite well. So yeah, let us know what you think. Oh, and HDR works, which is brilliant. I think that's probably because of the iPhone, and it actually looks better than it does on my TV. Let us know what you think in the comments below, whether you think this handheld is good enough, or whether you're not into gaming, whether you'd rather get a clip and a controller, which I've tried and that's awful and it's so heavy. I don't know how people use it, but I understand people use it. But if you want to comment on anything like that, make sure to like and subscribe. And yeah, until next time.